Well, good evening there, and welcome to the latest issue, which is the Capricorn rabbits. As you can see from the dates at the beginning there, some of the years are a little bit split, so watch them very carefully. So you really have to check in line there to see which, if you do fall into this sign. So let's start with the Capricorn rabbits. Well, as a child, they'll be a very quiet child, a very capable child, but they may have a problem about speaking out and speaking up. This is due to their real sort of thought-provoking nature, in the sense that they will think every move through. They don't like to jump into the limelight. They like to really think and assess everything. And but they are an intelligent child. But as I say, because of their non-confrontational nature, they may not speak up sometimes. There is a tendency that they may also get bullied a little because of they're quite quiet. But don't panic too much with these, because, as I say, they are thinkers and they will think their way out of situations, and they'll always be thinking ahead of how to appease, or how to deal with a situation where they haven't got the armour. They haven't got the armour a lot of other signs have. They haven't got brute force, and they haven't got an aggressive streak. So, but they're quite cunning, and they will be able to win with words and also with thoughts. So don't worry too much, even though you may have, as I say, you may have a quiet child in your hands. But, you know, you've just got to let them go with that, because that's where they feel comfortable. If they're pushed out of this zone, if they are pushed out of the zone, this can make it a very tricky matter. So their intelligence that will carry them through the teenage years, and there's a lot of discipline with this sign, because the rabbit is very conscientious and a great timekeeper, and likes the status quo very much, and the Capricorn will add that bit of discipline and a little bit of, you know, a little bit of dedication to situations, which, you know, this is quite a good mixture. They complement each other here, because you have quite a singular character when you come into the late teens, early 20s. You've got quite a single-minded person, and they would do fantastically well at singular sports because of this dedication, and they don't get ruffled easily. As I say, they're not an aggressive animal, but they don't get ruffled easily. They don't get put off in any way, shape or form, which makes their concentration brilliant for sports like golf, tennis, snooker. As I say, singular sports, motor racing. Team sports not so much, because you tend to have to be a little bit more gregarious and a little bit more open to influence, where this wouldn't obviously suit them. So as we're into adulthood now, so if they haven't taken a sporting profession, which I would advise, or something of that ilk, they will be disciplined and quietly move up a company. No problem. They'll always be on time. They aren't ones to be having sick leave very often, because they're very diligent and, as I say, conscientious. They wouldn't want to let themselves down more than not just anybody else. They wouldn't want to let themselves down. So, and we come into matters of the heart, and this is where the rabbit Capricorn is very difficult. They treat friendship probably a lot dearer than they do matters of the heart, because you have the rabbit, which is not the most loyal of signs, and also the Capricorn. So a little bit of a conundrum there, because, you know, their first stop isn't to be tied down to one person, or loyal, or maybe not even getting into serious relationships, full stop. But they do appreciate friendship. They will have many friends, because, as I say, they're very their manners are excellent, and they like the traditional friendships. They are a solid friend. But when it comes to intimate relationships, it's a bit lights out, and get it over and done with as quick as possible, which that's the little bit of the shame here, because they really do need to overcome the shyness and this lack of physical contact. It's not their main form, it's not their main priority. So that's a difficult one. If you're quite a red-blooded sign, or you're attracted to one of these, that's going to be the big downfall, because that would be the last thing they'll be thinking of. Or if they are, it'd be sort of, okay, let's get this out of the way. And it can feel a little bit on the cold side if you are in this relationship, because they will tend to spend a lot more time with their friends and things like that, and finding that a lot more interesting than obviously building a real hot love affair, which, as I say, not their strong point, but hey, there are signs out there that will help nurture and maybe unlock the key. You know, they might have the key to unlock this heart, this quite secluded and quiet animal. Capricorns and money, they go hand in hand. I mean, Capricorns will make money. They won't spend it very often, but they're very, very good at accumulating. Rabbits also, not the biggest spenders in the book, but very good at accumulating. So here you could have one of the very wealthy signs of the zodiac, and with them not being involved, matters of the heart, making them do something crazy or spending this and the other, you will have somebody that will have a huge nest to leave, or in fact, you know, they have been prone or known to leave a real distant nephew quite a windfall. They may not have seen them in X amount of years, but let's say they are prone to be leaving stuff like that. Maybe not to loved ones or people in the, you know, that they've had a relationship with, but maybe to a distant relative somewhere. You might have a distant aunt, uncle, and you never know. But rest assured, they will have a few shekels, quite a lot indeed. And that brings me to the point: if they are to fall in love, they normally fall in love with money first before they fall for the person. So they do look for a bit of power. They do look for the money out there, and that will be a big attraction to them. But they can, you know, if you have an inkling for one of these ladies or men, you know, you're going to have a well-kept home. You're going to have a nice, you know, a nice, comfortable, peaceful home, very peaceful. Children, as a parent, they will be quiet. They may tend not to have more than one. If they do, it may be two maximum. So they are prone to having only children, because they themselves can be only children. So that's at the maximum there. So, but you will have, if you're both career people, you know, you will have a good companion in that sense, where you've got a nice peaceful atmosphere. Probably tend not to live in cities, like the country, or like to be a little bit away from the city. But hey, you know, it's one way. If you can unlock them, you're going to unlock maybe a treasure chest, or you may have one of your own. And then what a great combination that would be. The world really would be your oyster. So seeking one of these out in those senses, you know, hey, you couldn't go wrong, I suppose. But really, if you are going to be doing that, you've got to be looking at the compatibilities of the pig. The pig's under Scorpio, under Pisces, under Virgo, or under Taurus. As I say, Wes, we've talked about with the pig, they have that that warmth, and they do have, if they are going to unlock somebody with just kindness and patience, then the pig's got all of that. And also we have to go to the goats, whereas that, you know, that sort of togetherness, they will look for that togetherness and a very gentle relationship. So rabbits will, you know, they shouldn't be involved with any of the powerful signs whatsoever, in the sense of an headstrong natured animals or quite aggressive ones. No, because it wouldn't do them well at all. because if we come down to rabbits, they can have trouble with circulation. This can be a thing. They can feel ultra cold when even, you know, the average person, they're not so cold outside, but they feel the cold. And when they may be confronted by a sign that may be a little bit more aggressive or vocal than they are, it can affect their, well, say their blood pressure quite a bit, and also they could be prone to cold sweats, etc. like that, and hot sweats. So the temperature is what they need to gauge properly. They're quite prone to fevers as well. So keeping with the plastic pigs and goats, that will be quite a way away. They'll be able to sort of like live quite worry free with those two animals. And in the goats, you've got to be looking for your Scorpios, your Pisces, your Virgo, your Taurus, and your Capricorns. You know, you've got to be looking for them. Ones that I would avoid at all costs are going to be roosters. Roosters are going to be far too edgy and tough, and that's not a good combination. Could make good friends, but it's not a love mixture whatsoever. They just tick in a completely different direction. So there you go. That concludes the Capricorn rabbits, and as you say, if you feel that's someone you've got to search for, if that's you out there, go searching for your right partner. Thanks a lot, and I'll be speaking again to you soon with another episode. Thank you, bye.